Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Fourth and Forever, a Roundtable Sports original, and also your favorite midday NFL news show on the damn internet. Last night was very busy because we ended up seeing two free agency signings, one of which for the New York Giants, one of which for the New England Patriots, and a bunch of other rumors that we need to address. And there was a rumor that just came out, TD, that I feel like you are even going to be super excited to discuss later. I'm going to tease it. All right. I'm not going to give it to you until after we're done with at least the first couple. But damn, let me tell you what, folks. Let me tell you what. We have a great show lined up for you today. We ask that you smash that like button for us if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already. And if you are not subscribed, we recommend that you do so. And make sure you also turn on those bell notifications because we want to see you in our live chat community. Shout out to NY Jets Indy. When and how did becoming a fan of your team go Jets? When and how did you become a fan of your team? Damn, that's a great question.
Well, great profile picture. That's me and my boy, NY Jets Indy at Jets Media Day. Shout out to my guy. He called in this morning to wake up and ball as well. So shout out to my guy. Jets fan, born into it, man, since I was 7, man. It's that simple.
Richie not a Jets fan.
So you're personally, I was born into it myself. I had no choice, man. I had no choice. I was born in South Buffalo. So my dad was a big Bills fan, and yeah. And so I'm still trying to decide whether or not that I should thank him or be angry with him. TD, how's life, man? Talk to us.
It's good. I don't know how I became a Dolphin fan. I was just born into it. Just, hey, look at the Dolphins. That's our team. Let's roll.
Yeah, I was about to say. There's no way that you actually chose like that tape. You know what I
mean? You a hater, Dan. You starting to act like Richie. But listen, man, beautiful day, amazing day. Yeah, you're a hater, Richie. But yes, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the Mod Squad. And I see the green in the chat. Shout out to all the members. All right, GTA, I see you. Lewis, I see you. Shout out to everybody who's a member of the channel. Spam the chat with the emojis. We appreciate you all.
That is for damn sure. A giant shout out right to the members. A giant shout out to the mods as well. Another super chat rolls in from our good friend Glenn. So you get my gift, TD, and congrats on $20,000.
Yes, Glenn is gifting two, not one, but two memberships tonight.
Two memberships this evening, folks.
Congratulations to 20K for Roundtable Sports. So two lucky people will win a membership tonight.
Damn, Glenn. Thank you so much, man. He has been a day one for us for quite some time, ever since we started this show. All love goes to Glenn, although that he knows how to get under my skin. He's still a good friend. He's still a good friend outside of football, of course. But all right, so first piece of news, I kind of wanted to do this in chronological order. It was where the New York Giants decided to sign Russell Wilson on a 1-year deal, and that was just days after that they decided to bring in Jameis Winston on a 2-year deal. Now, it's funny because I think people are now trying to speculate exactly what the New York Giants are going to do with their draft pick, particularly in the first round. I am under the impression, I said, I believe this tells you that Brian Dable and the GM over there, they just want to get to 8 to 9 wins, avoid this quarterback class, which has quite a bit of question marks, like right across the board, and wait until the following draft. Hopefully save their jobs, and then also hopefully be able to have some sort of assets where they could walk away with a solid QB in next year's draft. Funny enough, I posted that video, and then Benjamin Albright, he actually responded to it and just said, wrong. That's it. WRONG, wrong, period. All right. So now I'm sitting here with Benjamin Albright, and I'm like, man, I really hope those fools draft Abdul Carter or something like that, or like Travis Hunter or something along those lines. Because I'm circling back, Ben. I'm circling back on that. But thoughts on this, guys, right? Like, you commit to Jameis Winston for 2 years. You bring in Russell Wilson. And I got to tell you, here's half of the reason why I think they're not going to go with a quarterback with that 3rd overall pick. Do we really expect that Russell Wilson would have signed with the New York Giants if he didn't think that he was going to be the starter? That like he would go in there and be like, all right, listen, I'm going to sign with this team, because yes, we understand he's not the same Russell Wilson of the past, but I think his ego is still there. And I do think that he wouldn't have joined this team knowing that they were going to draft a Shedeur Sanders, right? That could potentially take his job. He wanted his best opportunity of starting, or otherwise you would assume that he would have signed with the Browns or he would have chosen the Browns. So thoughts with Russell Wilson being on the New York Giants with Jameis Winston, are the Giants still targeting a quarterback with that 3rd overall pick? TD, talk to me.
They may be targeting a quarterback with the 3rd overall pick. It's really a matter of, will the quarterback be there for them? Yeah, I don't believe Russell Wilson would have signed if he didn't think he was going to be the starter. I mean, It is what it is. Because Russell Wilson could go to any team and be a backup. And how much money did Russell get paid, by the way?
$21 million, $10.5 million guaranteed.
Yeah. You're the starter as long as you're on the roster. Now they could pay him $10 million to cut him, but that's kind of like counterproductive. So yeah, he's going to be the starter of the Giants, at least projected to be, as long as he don't have an injury or anything. And the Giants are going to go into the quarterback situation and say, hey, let's see what we can do. We don't know what to expect, but let's see what happens in the draft. And I think that's what's going on here. The Giants are as clueless as we are on what they're going to do with that pick, because they don't know what the Browns are going to do. A lot of people feel like Cam Ward is a shoe-in for number 1, even though Tennessee's GM just came out and said, man, they're exploring all options at the position. So there's no shoe-ins like people are saying. So we don't know, but the Giants, they're just hoping one of those guys falls so they can take him. And if not, then it is what it is, because they need to land one of these young quarterbacks to keep their job. Potentially. They got to land one of these quarterbacks, because you got to draft them. You don't want to really just bring in a whole new regime when you've drafted a new quarterback. So I think they're banking on trying to get one of these guys. The Browns are the wild cards here.
The Browns are the wild cards here. Richie, are the Giants still targeting Shedeur Sanders with a 3rd overall pick, if of course he is there? Or do you think that the signs are that it's Russ? Maybe they'll roll the dice on a QB in the 2nd and or the 3rd. What's going through the front office's minds right now? Talk to us.
So I think Russell Wilson going to the Giants is opening up a door for them to be still aggressive for a quarterback. I'm not ruling out Shedeur Sanders. I'm really not. I mean, based off of the reports, Adam Schefter said that no matter who they add in free agency at the quarterback spot, that does not rule them out of Shedeur. I mean, think of a quarterback room of Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Shedeur. And getting Jameis Winston tells me that if this is their philosophy, it guarantees Shedeur to sit for the whole year. So what if Russell Wilson goes out and gets hurt? Jameis Winston can go out there and play and not throw Sanders in there. I still think that at least the ownership of the Giants should be banging the table for a quarterback. I mean, I live in New York, as you all know. I tune into New York sports radio, and I've been listening actually today to sports radio, and the consensus of Giants fans is they're still living in the shadow of the mistake of last year. They did not take a quarterback last year. If they took a J.J. McCarthy, a Michael Penix last year, a Bo Nix, they'd have a young quarterback that could potentially be the franchise right now. That would be the starter, but they didn't. And now here they are again. If they don't take a swing at either trading up for Cam Ward or drafting Shedeur Sanders, or maybe they draft a Travis Hunter and then trade up for Jackson Dart or something, or maybe they like someone in day 2, I don't know, but you got to get someone in the building to be hopeful for the future. I don't care that this coach and this GM could be on the hot seat. Like, you guys are going to get fired with Russell Wilson as your starting quarterback regardless. Like, what's Russell Wilson doing with you guys? Winning 5, 6, 7 games? So they better have an answer. And if I'm the owner of the Giants, John Mara, he should be like, hey, you got to get at least somebody in this building. They haven't took a chance at drafting a quarterback since Daniel Jones. Like, you got to do that. And there's no upside with Russell Wilson at all. You know what you're getting. There's no long-term solution there. It's a 1-year deal. You should, if I'm the Giants, I still draft somebody, even at pick 3, if he's there.
You still pick a QB. I mean, look, right? First off, there are two thresholds that need to be met for this New York Giants team. Number one, keep your job stable. Keep your damn job. All right. And then number two, perhaps get a QB of the future. I am just still under the impression that the QB of the future for any NFL organization outside of Cam Ward, and there's still even question marks on that prospect as well, but we will keep that for a later show, is next year in the 2026 NFL draft. I'm going to remain consistent on that take. Russ Wilson, can he get it done? If they're smart, and to be completely honest with you, they are taking Membu or they are taking Will Campbell or some, and then double down on the offensive line.
You think like one of those prospects
picks need to be offensive line?
But do you think those guys are worth a third overall pick, or is that a trade down scenario?
It's a trade down scenario. Yeah, I'd
that's
say
the problem. When you're sitting at number 3, like I like those prospects, but when it comes to value of drafting number 3, I just don't think Will Campbell or even Membu is a third overall pick talent.
Yeah. Like Will Campbell, he has his share of,
and they have no left tackle,
so
he would have to kick inside or go to right tackle because the only thing the Giants have is a good left tackle, Andrew Thomas.
So to be honest with you, I think Will Campbell is really slow, and I think eventually he will be a guard. So I think that could potentially be something that they will do, but who knows? All right. We are not the GMs of the Giants here. Otherwise, they'd be multiple Super Bowl champions in recent memory. Talk to us.
Yeah, but listen, they need a quarterback. Let's just call it what it is. If Dayball and if the general manager in Dayball doesn't get a actual quarterback for the future, I don't know, man. Like that's fireable right there to me. And not to mention, did you see the video that's been circulating with the Giants, the general manager's son in his office?
What's that?
Who? The Giants GM, his son, in his office. Y'all didn't see the video of last year when he said, "Who should I draft?" And his son kept pleading with him, "Take Jaden Daniels, move up." I mean, you only get his son literally said, "You only get this job once. At least try to win. Move up and get Jaden Daniels. He's a guarantee."
Damn.
And his dad brushed him off, was like, "Oh yeah." And then asked his daughter, "Who do you think we should pick?" Man, and the kid knows ball, obviously. But they're like, if they're not on the hottest of hot seats, I don't know what's going on in New York. They gotta get a quarterback. All this other talk about this player, that player at 3, they gotta figure out a way to get the Browns on the phone and swap those picks and give up something. You gotta get one of them. No, everything else is a failure for the Giants. Yeah. Let's call it what it is. Don't look at Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson as anything. You got to get a future quarterback. And if you don't, you're screwed. You're fired. This season isn't going to amount to anything. You're not making the playoffs like that. Like, it's crazy to me. Get the quarterback. It's your only answer.
Well, you know what? Like, that's actually a great segue because you mentioned the Browns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say, for example, that the Giants wanted to go on ahead and trade up so that they could get Shedeur Sanders. This is the breaking news tidbit that I just saw leak prior to the show that I know TD is going to be very excited about, okay?
Anderson?
No. You're about to be very excited about this. All right, so some Browns podcaster, and granted, I think we should all take this with a grain of salt, but this gentleman says that he has inside sources. All right. Now, how credible this is, I don't know, but we have to have a conversation about it. He is under the impression that the reason Myles Garrett was so excited and giddy when he was just like, yeah, I got a pretty good understanding of who the quarterback's going to be for the Cleveland Browns in 2025. He claims it's because the Cleveland Browns are currently deep into negotiations for trading for Dak Prescott to be brought to the Cleveland Browns, man. Holy hell, dude. I try to wrap my head around this. I don't think it makes any sense financially. Why in the hell would you bring the highest paid QB in the NFL onto your roster from a financial standpoint, right? While you have a top 10 highest paid quarterback still on your roster, rehabbing an ACL tear. But regardless, it's a rumor. All right. But I think the big story coming out of this is that something that we completely take away from Jerry Jones? Is Jerry Jones, would he never do this? I don't know. TD, talk to me about this. How much do you trust this rumor? I don't trust it at all, but I feel like we have to talk about it. Go ahead.
It's just crazy, ridiculous. They just paid Dak with all those guarantees. He's virtually untradeable right now. The dead cap for the next 3 years, even in a trade, is unbearable. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. Yeah, the Browns could do it. They wouldn't take much of a cap hit. I mean, you know, people like, oh, the Browns, all those contracts with already. No, they're not even gonna be the ones paying much. But Dallas couldn't do that. Like, you would have wasted your time even giving him the deal to begin with. If you were going to do this, you had to do it before. You had to trade and then let them give him a deal. It's just not happening. And Dan, I thought you were going to bring up the news that came out like 11 p.m. last night, where Josina Anderson came out and reported that the Cleveland Browns have been open to actually moving down with that number 2 overall pick. And they are listening to people about potentially moving down.
Yeah.
Which and this news came right after all the Tennessee buzz about bringing in Cam Ward, which the Browns are going to do as well. And it makes me feel like the Browns feel like they want Cam Ward, and if they can't get him, they don't want Shedeur Sanders, if that's the case. So the Browns are the wild card for every team in the NFL for whatever you want in this draft. You got to go through the Browns. Tennessee going to do whatever they want to do. But the Browns own the magical draft pick. If Cam Ward is gone and they don't like Shedeur, then it's tradable. So everybody's in play at that point. I mean, I even seen a report where Dallas may be the team that ends up getting Shedeur. And they draft at 12, and everybody's like, Jerry needs to move up.
So wow. So then I guess Dak Prescott over the Browns makes a bit more sense.
Then you can, if something like that was to happen, then it could be a plausible thing, and they'd be eating some cap in the process. But I guess if you're going to get a rookie quarterback, you can eat the cap. That's the only way if you're going to actually get one of these top prospects. And wouldn't that be funny that after all that talk in the offseason with Dion and stuff, where Shedeur end up going to the Cowboys anyway? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Oh, my God. All right, Richie. Well, you know what? A lot to unpack there. All right. First off, Browns, number 2 spot. They did work out Cam Ward, right? It sounds like that they absolutely love the prospect by itself. So what TD probably said was that they have no interest in Shedeur. If it's not Cam Ward, now they're taking calls to trade down in the first place. All right. Now, could the Dallas Cowboys hop up at number 2 and grab Shedeur Sanders? That's a Jerry Jones move right there, my friend. He's thinking, I got to sell some jerseys. All right. Because I'm about to be going into a dark time over here in Dallas. Might as well bring in, some stuff to get the fans excited. All right. Like during my stadium tours, they're going to be seeing Shedeur Sanders and Dion on the sideline being Dion. What do you think, Richie? Browns 2nd round pick. A lot to unpack here. A lot of speculation. It's speculation season over here on 4th.
2nd overall pick, right? 2nd overall pick. Cam Ward, man. Listen, Cam Ward's a Titan. So have fun doing what you want to do with that. Cleveland, working out Cam Ward, doing this. I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, we talk about the Browns potentially trading down. That changes and flips the entire narrative of the entire draft, in my opinion, because if the Browns are looking to trade down, that opens up teams to leapfrog the Giants for a quarterback. And I still think the Giants are in the market for a quarterback, even though they brought in Russell Wilson. I think this is really interesting, man. But the Browns need a quarterback. Why would they not take Shedeur Sanders himself? That tells you that they're not super high on him as a prospect. Maybe they're like someone else in the draft. There's so much. The Dak Prescott stuff, though, I'm not reading. I'm not going to go there. Definitely. I know this is like, Dan's like, TD, you're going to love this. Dan, you love this more than anybody.
I do love it.
Yeah,
I do love it.
You're trying
Rent's due, baby.
This is Dan Mitchell season. When he saw that, he's like, oh yeah. And
Yeah,
Dan's
I'm
like,
thinking Tua's gone or something. Like what?
And Dan said to me, he's like, yo, man, people are running with it. I'm like, oh yeah. And then Dan made a TikTok. I'm like, oh, now everyone's gonna run with it with the platform. And you realize that you're a big part of the media now. So when you make a TikTok on something, it hits the masses, right? So now everyone's gonna talk about it. So we shall see. I would be shocked if that happened. I don't see it happening. Even from the Browns' perspective, it makes no sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And I wasn't even the one that brought this up to light. And I even made sure to play the video clip specifically of the guy suggesting it. So I didn't get people, oh, we have Dan Mitchell out here spreading fake news. Not at all.
Come on, man.
I was not the originator. I'm the spreader. All right. Listen, I see some crazy stuff out here. Dan, you know why I'm here. I know why you're here, brother. I got you.
Oh, my gosh.
Little duck. Oh, man. They were spamming the Bob emojis, too. Shout out to the members in the chat that's spamming the Bob emojis.
They were. Man.
Wow. Guys,
hit
that thumbs up button. We try to get to 100 likes for every single show. Why am I in TV spot?
Always, each and every single time. But all right, so the Russell Wilson news, and then obviously Cleveland Browns are thinking about trading down. Next piece of massive news last night that was broken. Stefon Diggs is back in the AFC East. He is now a New England Patriot. And boys, you would think that the Patriots and Patriots fans thought that Tom Brady and Randy Moss have been reincarnated and have been brought back into the division by itself. First off, I got to say, right, I have been seeing quite a few Patriots fans present themselves for the first time in about 6 years. It's like the Avengers saved them from the Thanos snap and they just reappeared. They're back. They're like, oh, AFC East is back. Stefon Diggs is here, dude. We're ready to go, right?
Yeah. We'll see about that tonight in the AFC's roundtable. I bet you it's still 7%.
Actually, I'm going to call 15% this evening. TD, go ahead, because you're obviously very excited to discuss this. Go ahead.
It's actually not about Diggs to the Patriots. Y'all got to forgive me. You got to forgive me. It's hitting me late, Dad. It's actually hitting me late. The Cowboys might actually be about to trade Dak Prescott.
Oh, too late. God. Too late, TD.
It's hitting me late. It's hitting me late, Dad. You know the factor that I forgot about?
What's that?
It's the number 2 overall pick. Jerry Jones actually can get Shadur Sanders. Just swap Dak for the number 2 overall pick.
That's a terrible trade.
For who?
The Browns.
Why would that be a terrible trade? They get their quote-unquote franchise
quarterback. Why you get up the number 2 overall pick for a
But what if Dion?
They could have a pick swap too. So they could have a pick swap too and have 12.
What if they've been orchestrating this already? What if it's my son not coming to you?
How are the Browns going to afford that with Deshaun Watson's contract on the book?
They don't have to eat all of Dak's contract. Jerry Jones on the hook for all them guarantees. They only have to deal with the base. This is what people keep forgetting in trades.
You see what you did, Dan?
Like it hit me late. Hold on. The Browns have the number 2 overall pick.
All right, we better
follow the money on this. Follow the money.
The Cowboys.
I want to see a deep TikTok on this from you, TD.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, listen, I better see an in-depth TikTok analysis on why this is going to happen.
Thank you, Lewis, for having some sympathy for me, because I got to sit here and listen to this nonsense.
You never know, man. It actually makes sense. Like it actually works.
See, this is what you do. You ran victory laps around the fact that Deion Sanders almost was hired to the Cowboys way too prematurely.
He might still be, Richie.
No, he might still be.
Hey, Richie.
Schottenheimer was a serious hire.
Like, bro, why you acting like you just got hired, bro? Is this not happening?
All right, listen, what's happening is that there is a coup in Dallas, all right? Schottenheimer was just a placeholder, all right? Deion's taking over. He's going to be pulling his strings.
You might be right. You might be. I'm telling you might be right, man.
Kicking off this show, man. I can't listen to these delusional bobs.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? Anyway, let's get back.
And the
into
guy's
business
name
here.
is Bruce Dreenan, who brought this up, saying he's hearing that they are working on a deal for Dak Prescott right now.
You know what? I'm going to start just making a video like, I'm hearing that the New York Jets are actually flipping Justin Fields for Patrick Mahomes and some picks. I've been hearing that. I'm going to start spreading some false news.
Well, hey, Richie, listen, you can question the method, but you can't argue with the results, my friend, all right?
that man risked his whole podcast just for some clicks.
He did indeed. But you know what's funny about the internet? It's funny about the internet because they always find a new enemy 15 minutes later. So that's a beautiful thing. Shout out to Bruce for bringing that crazy ass take up, man. That was some wild stuff. But all right, anyway, back to the topic at discussion. Stefon Diggs, a New England Patriot. Again, like I said, it sounds like Patriots fans are very, very excited. Also, reports are saying that he is likely going to be ready by week 1, although that I think that it's going to be way too early. Thoughts on the Stefon Diggs acquisition for the New England Patriots? Richie, starting off with this. Does this make the Patriots any scarier, especially after all of the defensive free agency moves, the draft's coming? What do you got?
Look who you
scarier. Listen, man, I mean, yeah, I mean, the thing about this whole situation is I just want to remind people the reason why I'm not moved, and if you want to call me a hater, go ahead. But this was their plan C, and I'm supposed to be applauding them. DK Metcalf was who they wanted. Guess what? DK did not want to be a Patriot. He's like, I'm not going there. I don't want to go there. So they had to settle on a man who's coming off a torn ACL in his 30s and gave him that type of contract. So he's not going to start year 1. So it's a desperation move, in my opinion. And guess what? They had to do that. I think this was what they needed to do, 100%. I'm not ruling out that by the New England Patriots. They needed to make this move. But then I go on the media world, and look at this. Look at this. This is what they're saying. The Pats are loading up for Drake May, bro. They're loading up, man. Whoa, look at that. Stacked receiver room.
They are,
you know that
though.
Dov Kleeman, bro, you know that Dov Kleeman posted that exact same picture and said, who's stopping this offense?
Yeah, of course. Like,
yeah, you already know. Yeah, you already know.
I honestly still think that this is still the worst receiving room in the league.
So who's stopping this offense? Literally everybody.
Somebody name a wide receiver room that's worse than this.
Boy, y'all.
Somebody in the chat.
I'd say Buffalo.
Are you sure?
No. Never mind.
I wouldn't even say Buffalo.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that either. Stop disrespecting Khalil Shakir, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Josh Palmer's there. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. And unless Stefon Diggs goes there and just completely turns into prime version of him, but he wasn't even the number 1 option in Houston, and he was productive. He got hurt, and that contract. But the reality is this is a desperation move for a team that struck out on their number 1 guy they wanted wide receiver, struck out on their number 2 guy they wanted in receiver, and they settled for Stefon Diggs. So sorry if I'm not going to applaud somebody for settling for a wide receiver who's not going to be available until the middle of the season. And I said this before the move happened, that you need someone to get chemistry. It's going to take a while for Drake May and Stefon Diggs to get on the same page. Everyone's like, oh, there's a new quarterback wide receiver duo. They're not even going to be on the same page until the end of the season. So that's how I look at it. Stefon Diggs was going to find a home that's going to pay him. That's all Diggs cares about at this stage of his career. He knows he's not winning in New England. This is where the money is, just like all their other free agents went there. Why? Because of the money. That's what the New England Patriots are. When you have all that money, you get paid the big bucks. They're paying players that hit their primes on other teams. Carlton Davis already hit his prime. The new defensive tackle they already hit their prime. Stefon Diggs already hit their prime. That's what teams do when you got all this cash. And I'm not saying it's bad philosophy, but that's just the reality of the Patriots right now.
So you know what this reminds me of? A few years back when DeAndre Hopkins signed with the Tennessee Titans. Everyone's like, oh my God, they got D-Hop, man. Crazy competition. And then you see the ghost of DeAndre Hopkins go out there, and it's not quite nearly as exciting. I think they also ended up looking, and get this, this was a shocker for me. All right. Because they ended up comparing this move to when Ocho Cinco signed with the New England Patriots. First off, I completely forgot that happened. Just to let you know how that New England Patriots situation worked out with Chad Ochocinco. And it's looking pretty similar. And there's so many different circumstances where you see like a team, so they acquire a specific player. He's nowhere near the same. But then again, I have to give it to the Patriots. What if they don't need, right? Like, what if they don't need an elite like Diggs? Like, what if they don't need him to be that? Sure, like we have seen slight regression in his route running and his separation, even prior to the ACL injury. But I think we can all admit, when at full health, he is their best wide receiver on the roster, bar none. And maybe that's what May needs. I don't know. TD, thoughts on this acquisition? Does this make the Patriots scarier to you? Talk to me.
Yeah, it makes them a lot scarier. Like, this is what I don't understand about this Patriot. I don't want to call it slander, but dismissal of what they've been doing this offseason. I mean, what were they supposed to do? Say, hey, he's going to cost too much, so let's just suck until we can get a bargain somewhere? No, he going to cost too much, but we want him. We want to get better. Go get him. And that's all they've done in free agency. Yeah, he's worth this, but in order to bring him here, we're going to have to pay that. Go get him. They're a better football team. Signing Stefon Diggs makes them a better football team. Now, if he's going to regress from the injury and not be the same, we don't know, but they're banking on him to pick up where he left off. And that's a good football player. So the Patriots are having an exceptional free agency. They are putting themselves in contention to win some games and compete in the division. And at the end of the day, they put themselves so far, in my opinion, they won't be in last place in the division. And I know the Dolphins aren't. So that leaves Buffalo and the Jets. Wow. And I think everybody know who they're going to pick in that one. So Richie can laugh all day, but I'm not going to be disrespecting the Patriots.
You just disrespect Buffalo. That's what I'm laughing at.
I didn't disrespect Buffalo.
Yes, you
Y'all,
did.
The Jets are in the dumpster.
I'm not. See, this is nothing new with the Jets, bro. That's disrespect to Buffalo. That's pure hate.
How did I disrespect Buffalo? I said that New England's put themselves in a position to where they will no longer be last in the division. And it certainly won't be the Dolphins. So that only leaves Buffalo and the Jets. And we all know who we picking in that. Buffalo, not the Jets. The Jets are going to be in fourth place in the division. I mean, listen, Drake May is a better quarterback than Justin Fields at this point. And at the end of the day, this team, Mike Vrabel, a better coach than the Jets' new coach. And Mike Vrabel is going to have that defense better than the Jets' defense. And that offense is starting to get pieces. And they still got an entire draft. They still got a draft. Stefon Diggs.
Okay, keep going. Yeah, you said pieces.
Stevenson, Drake May.
Stevenson, Drake May. That's not adding. That's the players there was last year.
It doesn't matter. They got a nice core.
You said that they're adding pieces, TD. And all I heard last year from Patriots fans, wow, Drake May.
Who's their tight end? Who's their tight end, Richie? Who's their tight end, Richie? Who's their tight end, Richie?
He's got no help. I didn't see no help.
Who's the Patriots tight end, Richie?
Hunter Henry.
Richie, is he better than your tight end?
I was about to say he was a loss out words.
What does this have to do with the Jets? I'm bringing up the Jets in this.
Richie, they're getting better. That's the point. And you're dismissing them getting better.
No, they got better on defense, and they added an aging, washed-up receiver. Sorry, I'm not moved. I mean, all I heard last year, TD, was, wow, Drake May's got no help.
He's
got no O-line. Oh, no, he's got no receivers. I don't see anybody that's changing that on offense. I don't see any big offensive linemen coming in. I mean, Morgan Moses is solid, but he's not going to change everything. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but again, that's help where they need it most, though, right, Richie?
You said they're adding pieces, and I'm waiting to hear the pieces that they added that should move me.
I mean, Richie, they've added some nice pieces.
On defense, they added pieces, 100%. That's for the pieces they added. On defense, for sure. I'm just checking what you're saying. I mean, I'm asking you a simple question. You said they're adding pieces? Okay, so enlighten me on the pieces they're adding.
Mac Hollins. What? They resigned. I think what's the lineman name? Bradbury or whatever. They bring him. They add Bradbury.
It's the island of misfit toys.
Yeah, I mean, what is
basically what it is. You know,
all I heard from Patriots fans was that Drake May's got nothing to work with. That was the biggest excuse, and I'm going to hear it all over again. Drake May, it doesn't work well. Well, what do you expect? Drake May's got nothing around him. It's going to be the same thing.
Richie. In the first round, they get a tackle. In the second round, they get a wide receiver. What else do their offense need?
They still need wide receivers.
If they get a wide receiver in the second round,
and they get
the best tackle, and they get the best lineman in the draft in the first round, what does their offense need at that point?
Still need help on the offensive line. They're not one offensive lineman away like the Jets are.
Yeah, but no team. I mean, most teams got one guy that's not great. I mean, but they still don't have a good old line
last year. It's not like it was just
they'll have a good old line. Richie, stop.
Okay, sure. They'll have a good offensive line.
Moses Bradbury, they had a new old lineman in the draft, one of the best ones. They'll be fine.
What I love is your flip-flopping, because a few months ago you were like just taking not giving Drake May any love or
so
the Patriots. And now all of a sudden Drake May is like elevated in your mind from doing what? He hasn't done anything.
First of all, when have you ever heard me mention Drake May in all of this?
What do you mean? You just mentioned Drake May.
What did I say? I say he better than Justin Fields. That's all I said. That ain't saying much.
Where's the proof?
That's not saying much.
Where's the proof behind that?
Stop, Richie. Stop. I understand he a new quarterback, but you ain't got to defend him like that.
I'm not.
Justin Fields ain't all that, Richie.
Justin Fields has proven he can win football games in Pittsburgh in limited sample size. What does Drake May prove?
Oh my gosh, man, that team could win with me.
Yeah,
a Mike Tomlin led team could win with me. Stop that mess.
Could win with TD Finstock.
Yeah, they can.
Man.
You're just upset that the Dolphins are stuck in purgatory, so you're hopping on to the Patriots as your new favorite.
No, I don't care about the Patriots. I'm just saying, give them some credit for their offseason. Like, come on, Richie. They're having a good offseason.
I'm sorry I'm not moved by overpaying.
Nobody said they needed to become the Eagles overnight.
So I will say, right, that Richie, you are like a pretty big Pats hater, bro. Like, not gonna lie. Like, trust me, I hate the Patriots too. They ruined my childhood. I get it. I get it. But I will admit that they had a good offseason. Not necessarily the Diggs move, but I love a lot of their defensive moves. And yes, I agree that their offensive line is still an issue, but let's remember they still have a draft that I think that they could bring in a couple of players. And yes, they overpaid people, but like about time they spent some money. Like dudes ended up like for the past 3 years sitting on well over $100 million in potential spend and never spent a dime, bro. So like I don't know. I get the excitement from Patriots fans. I do.
Yeah, there should be excitement from Patriots fans. I'm not discrediting that. I feel like if you're a Patriots fan, you should be very excited about a new coach coming in the building. Mike Vrabel, who's proven, was a New England Patriot previously. You have your quarterback who could be your franchise quarterback, has not proven it yet. So there is reason to be optimistic if you're a New England Patriots fan. No doubt about it. No. But the question is, will it work out? I just think that I would tame the expectations where this year is going to be about establishing the groundwork. And then I think next year, after the season, is when there's going to be potential boom for the Patriots where they could be legit contenders. I think that's how I'm looking at it. It's more about this is going to be the year of growth.
Yeah.
And then
you're right.
Because I think people are inflating them. They're going to like shock the world this season.
Yeah.
But I think the Patriots are still a year away.
So
but they still going to be better than the Jets
for a quarterback too, right? Same thing happened with CJ Stroud last year. A sophomore slump could be on the horizon for Drake May as well.
Yeah, new system, Josh McDaniels.
We don't know.
Never know.
Yeah, we don't know. But again, I do have them finishing second place and making the playoffs, though.
And it is interesting because, you want to compare the Jets.
You go kick the Bills out like that?
Yeah. The Jets and the Patriots are pretty similar right now in terms of the trajectory of their teams, just from their brand new coaches in the building. So, and this year is going to be about like new culture identity, whereas the The Bills, they have their coach, they have their quarterback, to expect. The Dolphins, we know what we're going to get from the Dolphins, the same exact story every single year, but there's an unknown factor with New England and the Jets, which is exciting.
Unknown? Man,
we know what the Dolphins are going to do. And unfortunately, we know what the Buffalo Bills are going to do.
Yeah.
But we don't know about the Jets and the Patriots yet. We can assume, but we don't know.
It is a lot of unknown, and that's what makes these shows so
we
exciting.
know about Miami.
Is the speculation surrounding everything, man, injected in my veins. Now, I do need to be choosy with these next couple of topics. And Cameron, if you are watching, sincerest apologies that we haven't gotten at every single topic. We will save several for tomorrow. I did kind of want to touch on this one, which I found to be pretty interesting. And it is about the Dallas Cowboys. Once again, no, it is not about them potentially shipping Dak Prescott over to the Cleveland Browns for the 2nd overall pick and Shedeur Sanders. But dude, no offer for Micah Parsons. All right. Jerry dragging his feet. No negotiations, nada, nothing. Micah Parsons does not have a deal, and he will be working on his final year of his rookie contracts. Damn. Thoughts on this, TD?
This is 5th-year option?
I believe it is his 5th-year option this year, yeah. I believe. But I will fact check that.
Double check, because it might be the 4th season. I just don't remember. Yeah, because they got to get that done. They got to stop playing around. That's their time.
It is his 5th-year option this year. Right now, he is owed $24 million base salary.
Yeah, I'm just saying like that. They got to get this done. They can't play around. I mean, then $24 million, that's not giving you much cap relief anyway. You might as well get the deal done. But the problem is, how much is he going to cost? That's the problem. Is he a $40 million guy? I mean, Garrett screwed up everything. Garrett screwed up everything with these prices, man. So maybe that's the holdup, and that's the problem with the Cowboys. They weren't expecting that, man. They were already probably barking at something like 33, and now you talk about potential $40 million type, value because of what just happened in the deal. This is tough, man. But we'll see if it gets nasty, because if I'm Michael, you got to sit out. You can't play this year on that current deal. That's insane. So I don't see that happening. I think that we're going to have a long summer, and it's going to be about Hutchinson and we talking about him now. His name, Micah Parsons. Yeah. I think this offseason is going to be about those two guys. Are they going to get their deals? And both of them going to sit out until it's figured out. So, man, this is definitely going to be interesting to see what ends up happening with Jerry Jones. I think he's trying to evaluate this whole situation, but I think that they'll get it done. I think he's just waiting to see if he can make this Browns trade first.
This Browns trade. He's doubling down on that, and I am very much looking forward to the analysis on TikTok a tad later. Richie, thoughts on this? No offer to Micah Parsons, man. What's Jerry doing? Why is he being so tight?
Because he's going to – one thing I've learned about Jerry Jones, we did the same thing with CD, same thing with Dak. He waits until the deadline. When's the deadline for this? Whenever the deadline is, that's when he's going to extend Parsons. That's how I look at it. Everyone was saying Dak's not getting the money, CD's not getting the money. He waited to the last minute to do it. So I expect that to happen. The Dallas Cowboys are a star-studded team, and I feel like Jerry Jones, as much as he wants to win, he will also accept having superstars to sell tickets, to be relevant, but not good enough to win Super Bowls. I definitely expect Micah Parsons to get the bag from Dallas. I really do. He is, without Micah Parsons, you don't have one star on that defense anymore. And you need a star on that side of the ball if you're the Dallas Cowboys. And I expect him to get that money right now. No, but I do expect it later on in the offseason.
Later on in the offseason, man. Holy hell. All right, next up. And this is a sad story. It's a big what-if case. and we discussed this name a bit back, but Trey Lance has interest from a football team, folks.
What football team?
The Saskatchewan Roughriders. A Canadian football league is interested in bringing in Trey Lance as their starting QB. Damn, man. You know what? Like, I look at this prospect, and it's tough to say that he did get a fair shot. But then again, I suppose people could say, you know what? Well, if he was that good, then he would have beat out Jimmy G and Brock Purdy, and he did not. All right. He was back up in Dallas for a little bit. He didn't look too good even during the preseason last year. But was Trey Lance a wasted talent? Could he have been a better QB in this league if he was drafted by somebody else, had a better situation ahead of him? Or does he just suck? Richie, talk to me.
Does he just suck? Poor Trey Lance. He never got a chance. Trey Lance never got a chance.
Bars.
Listen, man. Maybe there's a reason he's never got the chance, because in practice he doesn't show anything. I don't know, man. It's just weird. When they traded up for the guy, too, the San Francisco 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys traded for the guy. So two organizations had him in the building and watched him at practice and did not want to even give him the chance to go on the field. And listen, man, maybe he needs to go to the CFL and ball out before he gets his NFL shot. No disrespect to the Canadian Football League, but, you know, maybe this is what he needs. So I don't know what to say about it other than that. We just don't know.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
Trey Lance, CFL.
He's the lost player in the NFL. He's the lost player. Like, he just literally got buried, man. Cowboys brought him in for a try. You never really heard much. I mean, to be honest with you, we're all assuming and speculating. We don't know what he has left, but right now, NFL coaches don't feel like that's anything. They don't feel like it's anything in the tank. It's sad because, you know, he was promising. A lot of people had high hopes for him, but for him to fizz out like this, man, and get an offer from that's sad. But we'll see. I think he's gonna wait it out a little bit, see if somebody will take a flyer on him as a third string. Like he has to be able to get a job on a practice squad somewhere, right?
Yeah, one would assume.
Yeah, wouldn't you think that? Like, come on, like this isn't no. He'll be all right. He'll find a job on a practice squad and get an opportunity to see if he can make a backup role and become a solid backup in the NFL. At least we hope.
Except for that CFL contract would be crazy with the tariffs, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Chris Olsen is coming in. JJ McCarthy is going to be a top 10 quarterback this year. Man. Skull. We have Chris Olsen, man. Vikings fan in the chat. He's high on JJ.
Chris, appreciate the super chat. Guys, let us know in the chat which team you're representing. Love to hear which team you guys are representing in the chat. And don't forget to like this show if you're enjoying it, man. We like to get 100 likes, and we hit 20K yesterday on Roundtable Sports. Yeah. It was a gigantic milestone. We appreciate it, man.
Oh, man. And you know what, guys? Listen, we love doing this show Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. EST. And we cannot thank you enough for always tuning in and making this a part of your regularly televised programming. Absolutely love it. Now, guys, listen, we do need to give a giant shout out to today's sponsor right before we let you go. And that just so happens to be Underdog Fantasy. Guys, with March Madness right around the corner, opening day baseball is tomorrow as well. You have to get in the game over on Underdog Fantasy. Sorry. It is one of the best fantasy apps on the face of the planet. All you need to do is pick 2 to 5 players, all right, across any of the professional and or college sports leagues, and guess whether or not that they will hit the projections higher and or lower, all right? Right as you can see, a massive special over here for opening day baseball. Now, the beauty about it is that, say, for example, that you sign up with code RTS, you can receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit when you make your first initial deposit. I believe you have to do it within the first 10 minutes or something of signing up. So certainly keep that in mind. And you also get a free pick. Several times I'll go ahead and I will log in and I will see like Steph Curry higher or lower half a point, right? a basic swing, home run, automatic, going to hit type situation. Go on ahead. Check out Underdog Fantasy. It is a great way to show some love over here to Roundtable Sports since we have been working with these guys for the past couple of weeks. So if anybody is interested, certainly go sign up. Link is in our description, also pinned at the top of the chat. Look at that. Dude, Richie is cooking up something right now, man. Why don't you throw a little baseball action in there too, bro? Come on. I know you're a baseball guy. What do we got? Ooh.
I need my boy Juan Soto in his first game as a Met tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Gosh.
You know we're taking higher. What are you oh my goshing about? Why do you hate everything I love? My boy Juan Soto.
Yeah, why do you hate everything I love?
Richie be delusional,
that is a
man.
statement, man.
There's
That
no
is
delusion. We just signed the best player in baseball to the biggest contract, and I'm not supposed to be excited about it. That's delusion. Give me a break. I'm taking Juan Soto over and OG over. Really safe bet. 25 wins me 75. That's what I got.
Dude, you know what, man? I love that. Again, shout out to Underdog Fantasy for working with us, folks. And do us a favor, sign up right there and take advantage of that awesome promo they have going on. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Fourth and Forever. We had a couple of topics we weren't able to get to, but obviously we had a lot of discussions surrounding Dak Prescott being a Cleveland Brown. We also had a lot of discussions about Stefon Diggs and the New England Patriots that really took this entire show to the next level. Let's go around the table and have everybody say their goodbyes. Richie, what do you got to say?
Wow, I'm first.
You are
honored. Well, folks, as you all know, my name is Richie Malora, and we're live here on Fourth and Forever. And that's Dan Mitchell. He's Tony Dow. And we're just excited to keep talking all things NFL here on this channel. Want to let you guys know that after the show's done, make sure you stay tuned because tonight we're going to be breaking down the offseason on the AFC East Roundtable. All right, we're excited about that. So go check us out live tonight at 7 p.m. EST. We did not have a show Monday, so we're going to do a little longer show tonight. So hope you guys are going to enjoy it. So we'll see you tonight later on the AFC East Roundtable, man. It's exciting stuff.
Man, listen, we love all the shows that we put out there for sure. TD, what do you got, man? Talk to us.
A great show today. We got breaking news. Sources call reports of Cowboys and Browns talking deal fake news. That just came out on NFL Network.
It's
not happening.
Oh, that poor guy. He had his 3 seconds of fame, man. He has 3 seconds of fame.
Oh,
man. Crashing and burning, man. Damn, brother.
Wait, the NFL Network actually had to talk about that?
Yes. They literally, and then Ian Rappaport reposted, I run it all down when working this beat. And the Dallas Cowboys are not working on trading Dak to the Browns. In fact, texts with 2 sources tell me fake news and absolutely not before this gets any sort of wheels.
Dan Mitchell, man. I think they saw Dan's TikTok.
It was not me, bro. Listen, I just reacted to the statement. I said that I didn't trust it.
Man.
Great stuff.
Man, holy hell. All right. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of your favorite midday NFL show, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. EST. When you subscribe, make sure you turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss one. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Peace.
We are out.